Hi kids, it's Mrs. Fravel. How are ya? Good, I'm fine too. Thank you for asking. Hey, we're gonna wrap up the pelagic ecosystem today. We've talked about the abiotic factors of the ocean, including the temperature, salinity, pressure at depth, and all of those sorts of things. Then we also talked about the plankton, both holoplankton and meroplankton. You should know those words. We also talked about whales, or whales if you're here in Utah, both baleen whales and toothed whales. And then we also talked about fish. So many fish, right? The majority of life in the open ocean environment consists of thousands of different species of both bony fish and cartilaginous fish. So you should have a pretty good grasp on those. So I just wanted to show you a couple of the other types of animals that call the open ocean their home. So make sure you're taking notes, and you'll need to upload a copy of your notes, either a Google Doc or a photo if you're an old-fashioned writing note taker, to the assignment that goes with this. And then there are a couple of videos throughout this presentation that I have linked below this that you also need to watch and include in your notes. Okay, one about turtles and one about squid and one about the tiny crabs. Yeah. So let's talk about what else is out there in the big blue. So sea turtles. Everybody loves sea turtles, right? So sea turtles, you might think they're not an open ocean one because we think about them maybe on the beach or around coral reefs. But they do spend most of their life as a pelagic animal out in the open ocean, riding the currents and migrating all over the world. There are 7 different species of sea turtle, and all of them are either threatened or endangered. And just as a review, an endangered species is one that is close to becoming extinct. There are not enough alive to keep the population at a steady population growth rate. Okay, so their growth rate is declining on their population level. And then threatened is, it looks like they're almost going to become endangered if something's not done soon. Okay, turtles are really affected by human activity because when they are living out in the pelagic zone, they are susceptible to getting caught in fishing nets, and that drowns them, because fishing nets will hold them underwater. They are air-breathing reptiles, so a lot of them get drowned and tangled in nets. And then they also, one of their main foods is jellyfish. And funnily enough, plastic bags that we love so much, they look like jellyfish. So plastic bags, when they're floating in the ocean, look like jellyfish. And so turtles nom on them, and they die of choking them or clogging up their digestive system. Okay, and then on the beach, when they do come onto the shore to have their babies, the females come ashore to dig their nests. Humans either have taken over those nesting areas as the beaches that we love to go to, or people dig them up and eat them or sell them. So we've not been easy on the turtles. Okay? So again, sea turtles are reptiles, so they are air-breathing. They are descended from animals that started out as land reptiles and then went back to the ocean, kind of like whales did. And most species of sea turtles are carnivores or omnivores, so they'll eat jellyfish. They have special plates on the top of their mouth and in their throat that protect them from the nematocysts and the cnidocytes. They'll munch on sponges, which that doesn't sound good at all. They'll eat crabs, mollusks, small fish, other invertebrates. Pretty good hunters. You wouldn't think so because you think of turtles as being slow, but these suckers can move in the ocean. Okay, green sea turtles are vegetarian, and those are the turtles that probably most of you that have ever been like snorkeling have seen. They tend to hang closer to the coasts because they're grazers, and kelp is hard to eat out in the open ocean. So they come in and they graze more on seagrass beds and algae around coral reefs and sandy shore ecosystems, which is the next ecosystem I think we'll talk about. The leatherback turtle is the largest of all of the turtles. It can get up to 9 feet long and 2,000 pounds. They're enormous. They live in the colder water, and they're the only more endothermic of the turtles. Most turtles are ectothermic, like all reptiles. So they're going to match the temperature of the water around them, but they are also what we call poikilotherms. They have a wider range of temperatures at which they can function. So most reptiles, when they get cold, they really slow down and stop functioning. Sea turtles have a wider range. They can get a little colder and still be okay. Here are some of the species of sea turtles. Big cuties. So green sea turtles, loggerhead sea turtles, which are also very large species. And loggerhead, they've got like these big, massive noggins, and they can get like 6 feet, 4 to 5 feet long, really huge. And then Oliver Lees, these are little guys. They're only about that big around. And the leatherbacks, you guys, this turtle is massive, like astonishingly large when you see them. That can be like 8 feet long, a couple 1,000 pounds. They're huge. Okay, sea turtles spend their lives in the epipelagic zone, out in the open ocean. They migrate. They eat planktonic jellies and other fish, and they do mate in the open water. But the females, being land animals, they've got to lay their eggs in the land, because when they're little ones hatch, they've got to be able to breathe air, and then they race to the water. And this is the most vulnerable time in a turtle's life, really, is when they're little. They get picked off. So every nest, and a female turtle can do like 3 or 4 nests in a season, and she'll lay 100 or more eggs per nest. And then those 100 babies hatch, and they run for the ocean, and they get picked off by birds, and they run the wrong way, and there are other land-based predators that will come after them, like foxes and coyotes, and maybe 1 out of 100 maybe make it to the water. And then they just start swimming, and they head out, and these guys grow up slowly. They grow up hiding in algae, like macroalgae, and kelp, and flotsam, if you know that word, like just debris that floats on the water surface. That's where baby turtles hang out. There's a video on sea turtle migration. I'm gonna link it under here. Go watch it. Okay. Oh, look, I accidentally clicked it. You can watch it later. Okay. Fravel. I'm awesome. Okay, so let's talk about another group of animals. So crustaceans. Again, the open ocean is mostly fish and plankton and whales, right? But there are some animals that are meroplankton, and that drop out of being planktonic. They just cruise around in the open ocean, and one of them is a pelagic crustacean called the pelagic red crab, or tuna crab. Its scientific name is Pleuroncodes planipes. They are not really a crab. They're technically a lobster. Lobsters and crabs are 2 different families. Within the order Crustacea. And these guys swim in the open water. They ride the currents as meroplankton. They'll drop out. Sometimes they'll sit on the seafloor in the shallow water. They're adapted to coolish water around Baja and Mexico, but sometimes the current will sweep them up north, and they die from cold shock, which turtles also do, and they'll wash up like they call them mass strandings, just like for whales. They'll wash up on the beaches in California, including Monterey. So I linked a video about that also under this one on the Canvas page. They are a main staple in the food web, in the pelagic food web. They are eaten by everything: birds, squid, turtles, rays, whales, seals, sea lions, seabirds. Everybody eats these guys. And they are big, they're just red masses of little red lobsters. Okay? Bigger than krill, but smaller than lobsters or crab that we might eat. And we don't eat them because they eat a lot of algae in the plankton that can have toxins in their tissues. Okay. Okay. And then let's talk about mollusks. Mollusks are groups of animals that include clams, snails, nudibranchs. We talked about those. We talked about nudies when we talked about the coral reefs. They are a type of mollusk, but also we get pelagic mollusks that are cephalopods. And cephalopods include octopus and squid. Squid are the largest pelagic group of mollusks. There's dozens of species in a couple of different families. And they range from tiny little bobtail squid, which are adorable. Go Google pajama bobtail squid. You won't be sorry. They're so cute. And then there's also, of course, the giant squid, which is technically pelagic, but it hangs out down in the mesopelagic and deeper. So most squids spend the day in the deeper ocean in bathypelagic or mesopelagic depths, and then they migrate vertically through the night. They come up at night to hunt, and there's a video about that also linked about the Humboldt squid. These guys are pretty integral to the food web, just depending on where you are and what ocean you are. But they're an easy, quick snack because there are huge schools of squid, and they're pretty social, more social than octopus, and they reproduce like crazy. Squid are fine. They're one of the few groups of animals that are doing fine in climate change and ocean acidification. So I'm never afraid to eat squid or make you guys dissect them. But when we're back in school, we'll see. Okay? So squid in the food web, they're right there in the center. They're a mid-level predator, so they keep, and this isn't super accurate. They have not just lanternfish, they eat all kinds of small fish. They are really good hunters. They're really fast. They've got those whipping out tentacles and wrapping things with arms, and they've got a sharp beak. And then they are the food for all kinds of upper predators. Here's a couple different kinds. Pelagic squid. So the Humboldt squid is one of the most well known because they hang kind of close to coasts. They are large, and they are they hang out in super large schools that come up at night to hunt. If you've ever eaten squid steaks, it was probably from a Humboldt squid, and it's the mantle. It's their this big, what we think of as their head, but it's actually not their head. This part of their body, I'll show you on this little Danae squid, that's actually their abdomen. That's where their guts are. Their head is here, and then this is their foot. And these little Octopoteuthis, toothus means squid, Octopoteuthis Danae is this weird little squid that all of its little tentacles except for these two are kind of cut off. Weird. And then there's a cousin of theirs, the Megaptera squid. These guys are both in the Atlantic Ocean. Humboldt squid are in the Pacific Ocean. And then, you guys, did I not tell you? Look at this little bobtail. This isn't a pajama bobtail, but look at this little guy. Oh my God, he's like this big. They're so cute. And these guys are in the Pacific Ocean. They spend a lot of time around Hawaii. Euprimna scalopes. Scalopes? Sure. Okay, so make sure you wrote all those down. Oh my gosh, they're cute. Squid are cool. They're not as cool as octopus or cuttlefish. They're cousins, but they're still, they're pretty cool. Okay, that's all. I'm gonna stop talking. Okay, make sure that you upload a copy of your notes, either as a Google Doc or take a picture if you wrote them, but after you go watch the other two videos that or other three videos that are linked under this one, and then your assignment is the Ocean Predators assignment on Canvas, where you're going to read about all of the animals in the pelagic zone that eat other animals, which is most of them. There isn't a lot of truly nutritive plant matter out in the open ocean. There's the phytoplankton, right, that we talked about, that's the base of the food chain. But in terms of grazing on vegetable matter, that's not really an option in the open ocean because kelp is not very nutritive. So most of the pelagic animals are predatory or carnivore. So you're going to go read about some of the larger groups of those and upload that assignment. Or yeah, it's embedded. You don't need to upload it. Just submit it. Okay, that's due on Wednesday. And then Wednesday is your test. Have a good day. I miss you guys already. Good to see you on the Zoom, Google Meet. And I will see you on Wednesday. Have a good day. Be good. Stay home. Stay home. Wear your mask. Don't go anywhere for Thanksgiving. Hug your grandma via Zoom or something or FaceTime. Okay? Okay. Bye.